Hi guys,
Hey guys, it's Mark,
and it's Michelle.
and this is Mark and Michelle on another rainy night in Oklahoma City.
It's very chilly.
It is 43 or something.
I have two sweaters on.
But anyway, she's not cold. Well, she is cold.
Hi Helen.
Hey, Helen, and
Hi Jasmina.
Jasmina, and we thought we'd talk about the symptoms of autism in adults.
Because we've had someone say, I wonder if I'm autistic, and we've had other parents who found out their children were autistic, wondering if they had autism. So we found this amazing article.
Mm-hmm. All right. The article is in the, I think it's just an online magazine, ADDitude. Let's see if
We can post it under.
Yeah, we can.
But for
There you
the
go.
podcasters, it's www.additudemag.com.
Mm-hmm. And the article is, what does autism spectrum disorder look like in adults? So, and interestingly enough, this article was medically reviewed for by the magazine's medical review panel. All right. Could you have symptoms of autism in adults? I'm not going to read the article, but the first thing is symptoms of autism occur in three main areas: social interactions, verbal and nonverbal communication, and repetitive or ritualistic behaviors. Now, I definitely had symptoms of all three. So let's see. All right, let's go down to in the article, there is a link to a self-test, autism spectrum disorder symptoms in adults, and we'll post the article, and then you can click on the link and take the test if you suspect you might be. Let's see. So, symptoms of autism spectrum disorder in adults, and now this list gets a little more specific. Sean! We'll start with the first one here. Difficulty interpreting what others are thinking or feeling. Yes, that is called mind blindness. And
It's also the
real.
lack of the ability to receive telepathic messages, which come through emotion.
And I definitely had that trouble. And anybody who's been diagnosed with it knows that they've had that trouble. Trouble interpreting facial expressions, body language, or social cues. To me, you need to be able to interpret the facial expressions, body language, and social cues to interpret what others are thinking or feeling. They go together. They just do. All right. Difficulty regulating emotion. Yes, I still have some issues with that myself. Working on it, though. Inflection that does not reflect feelings. Definitely had that problem. Kind of having to teach myself by listening to other people. And tried to teach myself when I was autistic, but it didn't quite pan out.
You skipped one.
Trouble keeping up a conversation?
Yeah.
Okay. Trouble keeping up a conversation. I think what they mean by that, because that's a little vague, is that you have trouble with the give and take. See, that's the next thing. So I'm not sure why they put this. Trouble keeping up a conversation. You have trouble not wandering off onto your own subjects when you're in a conversation. I think they partially mean that, but I think they also partially mean the give and take of a normal conversation.
Or maybe not understanding.
Or that. So then we'll skip down because I just did that one. Difficulty maintaining the natural give and take of a conversation. Prone to monologues on a favorite subject. Well, basically what I just said. All right. There's a kitty in the way. Almost. Tendency to engage in repetitive or routine behaviors. Yes, definitely. In fact, for me, in some cases, very rigidly so. All right. Only participates in a restricted range of activities. Yes, For me, I did that because too much change would cause me to be unable to cope with it. Now I don't have that much of an issue. Here we go. Strict consistency to daily routines. Outbursts when changes occur. I think outbursts is a little underestimating what that really means. I think the better word is meltdowns.
Hi,
Melissa, and definitely meltdowns. We're talking about the symptoms of autism in adults. Deep knowledge of one particular topic, such as a certain branch of science or industry. Personally, I think that particular system or symptom is pointless because PhDs in this country and in other countries have comprehensive exams to graduate with their PhDs, and I bet you they know their subjects as well as or better than some ASPEs. So I get it. I see why they say that, but people with high functioning autism aren't the only ones who know subjects comprehensively well. So I think that's just kind of pointless.
I think that has to go more with hyperfocus, though.
Probably, but they didn't say that. And so to me, let's see. Right. And probably, and that would make sense. But if you didn't point that out, nobody's going to know. You know what I mean?
Well, unless you read implicitly.
Well, there's possibility for that, yeah. Okay. Well,
now they have
you go ahead.
Symptoms in adults at home. Your family members lovingly refer to you as the eccentric professor of the family, even though you don't work in academia. Your mom called you the little professor?
No, I had kids who called me that in school. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You've always wanted a best friend, but never found one. Was that true for you?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You often invent your own words and expressions to describe things.
That wasn't really me.
Well, actually, you were really funny like that. You would make up words that, to me, they were special words that only you used.
Okay. Well, I didn't remember that so much, so okay.
Even when you're in a quiet place like the library, you find yourself making involuntary noises like clearing your throat over and over.
I cleared my throat all the time anyway. I still do. So in the library.
You follow the same schedule every day of the week and don't like unexpected events.
It's not a problem anymore.
But we're talking about when you were.
Right. Well, but you're asking. Well, yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Expressions like curiosity killed the cat or don't count your chickens before they hatch are confusing to you. You told me about the guy who talked in cliches. At work.
You mean at
Whole Foods?
Whole Foods.
You didn't understand anything he said.
Oh, that was the team member services, the human resources guy, and he said I wouldn't. What was it? I wouldn't cash that check before I checked to see if I had any funds in the bank.
Hi, Krista.
And I'm just, but even as an NT, I would get it. I'd pick up on it after a second or two, but I'd be like, why didn't you just say, hey, don't count on that? Seriously, man. All right.
Okay, you are always bumping into things and tripping over your own feet.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah.
Yeah, you've really gotten better at your balance.
Yeah, not entirely, but a ballet dancer friend of mine, she told me how she improved her balance. So I haven't actually tried any of that, but I'm sure it worked.
In your leisure time, you prefer to play individual games and sports, like golf, where everyone works for themselves instead of working toward a common goal or on a team.
Yeah, that was me. Mm-hmm. And, truthfully, I can work on a team if necessary, if it's a well-functioning team.
When you were autistic, you could?
Even when I was autistic, as long as it was a good functioning team. Because I find that most people don't actually know what the word teamwork means. They tend to think that, if I'm not doing my job well, somebody's going to come help me. No, you do your job well, and then everybody pitches in to help you do yours. That's what I thought teamwork was.
So now we move to symptoms in adults at work.
Mm-hmm.
When you're having a conversation with your boss, you prefer to look at the wall, her shoes, or anywhere but directly into her eyes. I think you said you practiced eye contact.
Yeah, I did, because my dad told me that honest people look each other in the eye. And so I did that because I wanted people to think I was honest. Mainly, they just thought I was creepy, or a bully, or aggressive, or something, whatever. And but I still do that. Even as an NT, I still look people in the eye, and it makes them uncomfortable.
Your coworkers say that you speak like a robot.
Yeah, back in 1985 in Florida, I remember a guy telling me I sounded like a robot.
How did you told me you practiced changing your tone of voice.
Trying to change my tone of voice by listening to other people. Yeah.
Can you explain a little more about what you did?
Oh, well, I would mimic people, and I would listen to what they have to say, and I didn't necessarily understand why they were changing the tone of their voice, the pitch or the stress or whatever else, but I did it. Probably sounded funny when I did it because it didn't make any sense. In fact, I think that is one of the symptoms here somewhere. But I just mimicked, thinking that I was doing the right thing.
You are really good at math or software coding, but struggle to succeed in other areas.
Well, I used to be good at writing programs, decently good, but now I'm just good at hardware, which is fine too.
You talk to your coworkers the same way you talk with your family and friends.
Not anymore.
But we're talking about when you were autistic.
Yeah, more than likely. Yeah, I don't remember exactly, but more than likely, yeah.
Sometimes I felt like I was your boss because of the way you talked to me.
Well, probably.
During meetings, you find yourself making involuntary noises like clearing your throat over and over.
I don't remember that, but...
When talking with your boss, you have difficulty telling if he is happy with your performance or mad at you.
Yeah. Back then I did. Now I don't have any trouble. All right. Okay. Oh, was that it?
I wanted to go back to the first ones and get some of your personal experience. Is that okay?
That's fine.
So difficulty interpreting what others are thinking or feeling.
Oh, well, the first ones I thought you mean the first list of symptoms? Because I was talking about categories. All right. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Right.
Do you have a specific instance you could tell us about?
When we moved here to Oklahoma, I started a job at a grocery store, and there was a girl who I was a supervisor in the kitchen, and this girl did what I asked, but I couldn't tell how she felt about me either way. And one time you came up there and you saw her and you said, "Ooh, she doesn't like you." And I thought, oh, okay. This was before we knew I had autism, maybe suspected it, but before I got any diagnosis or anything. So
was it before you took that test?
Yeah. And so I remember you saying, "Ooh, she didn't like you at all." And so I thought that was interesting. Oddly enough, a situation happened about a week ago at work. I was in the whole body department at the store, and whole body is makeup and soap, bath soap and shampoo and medicines and supplements and all that. Two girls came in and they were asking for, the girl said, "Look, I come in here for my grandmother to get her this particular medicine." And her and I were talking, and she was saying, "It's this such and such, it's in a red and white bottle." I said, "Okay." I said, so I looked it up because she couldn't exactly tell me the name of it. So I looked it up on the phone. It was $160 something. And I said, "Do you normally get it here?" She goes, "Yeah." And I said, "Okay, well, let's look around." And let's look around, and I'll see if I can find it. Well, as I was looking around, one of the assistant store managers comes over and she goes, "Oh, what are you guys looking for?" And I told her. And I showed her a picture of it, and she looks at the price. She said $160 something. Okay, she said, we probably don't carry anything like that anymore, but let me call the woman who works over here. And that was the boss. That was Jessica. And so she calls her up. As soon as she picks up the phone, the assistant store manager, as soon as she picked up the phone, those two girls said, you know what, we'll go find it somewhere else. And they walked off. And they left. They left the store. And the assistant store manager goes, yeah, they were going to try to get that and steal that. I didn't get any of that. See, I was just helping her. I had no reason to distrust that girl. It was odd that she had sores all over her face. But there was no reason for me to distrust her, because basically to me, we're just solving the problem, right? And so I thought about this. I'm like, wow, you know, what if I have trouble like this in some other situation when I can't read somebody well enough, you know? And I thought, man, I wonder what I missed to not see what the assistant store manager saw. And I thought about going back and asking her, but then I was like, you know, it doesn't matter. At some point I'm going to be out of retail. So, you know, I just thought that was interesting, because I had no way of telling what they were thinking, you know, even as an NT. So,
well, you also have a male brain.
Well, okay. I guess that would be it.
I mean, it might be.
Yeah, it might be.
Difficulty regulating emotion.
Yes. When I was autistic, if I got upset, I would cry just about every time. Now I don't have that trouble. So might say it's just different emotion. I get mad now, and it becomes a heavy black cloud over the whole store when I'm at work. But you know, or at home. But my response isn't to cry. No.
You seem to have something to say about inflection that does not reflect feelings.
Yes. Well, that was like I was saying earlier. I mimicked people, hoping that my tone of voice wouldn't sound like a robot. But I didn't always understand what the inflections meant emotionally, so I would use them, and people never would get confused. I remember people getting confused at times when I was trying to learn that. And at what I was, they got confused by what I was saying, and I didn't understand why, but obviously it was because of that.
There's also the story of the man who walked up to you and said his daughter died.
Yes. Well, that was when we moved here, and, you know, that has been 8 years ago now, so I don't exactly remember how he sounded. Mainly because I was autistic at that point, so right. I didn't hear whether he sounded sad or whatever, you know. And now I would hear a certain note in his voice, an extra inflectional detail that I wouldn't have heard then, and I could have told how upset he was, but I didn't notice that then, so I didn't really respond appropriately. I just said, okay. And that was it, you know.
I think you said, I'm sorry
to hear that. I may have, yeah.
That's what you have said in the past.
Right.
Tell us about the tendency to engage in repetitive or routine behaviors. I remember the music, but I don't remember.
Rocking back and forth.
Oh, okay.
Stimming behaviors, really.
Right,
and,
that makes sense.
Organizing for no reason. Because I used to do that, and it helped keep the place clean somewhat, but it was a stimming behavior to organize.
What specifically?
Organizing books, like from the tallest to the smallest, or from orange to blue, you know, in the colors of the visible light spectrum, that kind of stuff, you know.
You always had deep knowledge of lots of things,
but
I did glaze over a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so did other people. Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess Mark needs to go to sleep. So
I guess. So, all right, guys, keep on with the celery juice and the heavy metal detox smoothie and the lemon water. Definitely go to www.healyourautism.com/buy the book and download our Heal Your Autism's Do-It-Yourself guide, Healing Begins in Your Kitchen. It's a detox guide that shows you how we got to where we are, step by step.
lots of links.
Lots of links, and there's lots of freebies that come with the book as well. So definitely scroll down to the bottom of the page and order the book. All right, guys, see you tomorrow.
And we offer coaching if anyone needs help.
That's right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.